This is the second part of my tutorial about how to make multicolored macarons. The video before this demonstrated an easier technique. The technique I'm going to show you in this video is a little bit more difficult, and the results are a little bit different. I won't be going into detail about the recipe or technique in this video because I've already posted a thorough macaron tutorial. The first step is to weigh the bowl that you're going to be mixing your meringue and your dry ingredients in. This can be the bowl from your mixer, but I prefer to use a wider, more shallow bowl. Once the meringue has been whipped to stiff peaks, you can start combining the dry ingredients. When combining the dry ingredients into the meringue, you want to be as gentle as possible to try to keep as much air in the batter as you can. Now that our ingredients are combined, we need to divide our batter in half if we're going to do 2 colors. Weigh the bowl with your batter in it, then subtract the weight of the bowl and divide by 2. If you don't want to do any math, you can just eyeball it. Put half of your batter into a separate bowl, and then we can start to add our colors. I'm making strawberry banana macarons, so half of my batter is going to be yellow, and the other half is going to be pink. Add in a few drops of your color, then gently incorporate it with your spatula. You'll see in my other videos that when I'm deflating my batter to the correct consistency, I very intentionally deflate the batter with my spatula. I do that because when working with a large batch, it would take forever to get the batter to the correct consistency if I just folded it with this technique. Folding the batter like this does deflate it. And especially when working with a much smaller batch, it's going to deflate much faster. That's why you need to be careful that you get all of the color incorporated before the batter becomes too thin. Now that the color is fully incorporated, my batter is still too thick. I'm only going to need to deflate this batter 4 times before I get it to the correct consistency. So that was after 1 deflation. Now I'm doing a second. Now I'm doing a third, and now I'm doing a fourth. And now let's see what the batter looks like. Very quickly, it went from being too thick to being just the right consistency. So be careful when working with a smaller batch. It's going to deflate much faster than if you were doing a larger batch. Repeat those steps with all of the additional colors that you're using. You could technically do as many different colors as you wanted, but now you can see why I think this is the more difficult technique, and it's because you have to go through this deflation process multiple times, and it just leaves a lot more room for error. So I'm following all of the same steps with my pink batter. Now it's time to get the 2 colors of batter into the piping bag. I lay down a piece of plastic wrap, and then I pour half of the batter onto it and the other half next to it. I'm not gonna lie, this process usually stresses me out, and you'll be able to see in a moment when I try to roll up my plastic wrap that my batter almost spills out the top of the plastic wrap because I put it too close to the edge. But I did manage to toss it into my piping bag just in time. I recommend having your piping bag ready to go before you start pouring your batter into the plastic wrap for this reason. Pipe your shells, rest them, and bake them according to the directions in my video labeled Macaron Tutorial. You can also check out my follow-up video answering frequently asked questions. as well as a video about how to make chocolate macarons and how to make different types of filling. I'm filling these with strawberry banana buttercream. You can find the recipe in my buttercream tutorial. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this video to be helpful.